Good morning. Thanks to everyone here with us in person in our nation's capital. And for those of you watching from home, thanks for tuning in. We're in Washington, D.C. for the San Diego Regional Chamber's annual Mission to Washington, D.C. delegation trip. Our group of 172 business and civic leaders from San Diego and Baja California is here with one mission: to advance the issues critical to the success of our region related to infrastructure, healthcare, transportation, housing and urban development, tourism and hospitality, cross-border trade, environmental issues, military and veterans affairs, and energy, water, and sustainability issues. San Diego is about as far as you can get from our nation's capital. The Chamber comes back to Washington every year to advocate for the business community and to ensure San Diego is getting its fair share of federal funding and that we remain a priority regardless of the distance. While our representatives do great advocacy work for our region, there are other agencies that need to hear directly from us. Over the next 3 days, we'll have an opportunity to meet with federal government officials, agency representatives, and policymakers to enhance understanding and advance policy that creates the best environment for San Diego businesses and neighborhoods to thrive. These in-person meetings make a real impact, especially when we have a group of 172 delegates from both sides of the border, coordinated and aligned in telling San Diego's story. A key priority for this year's trip is advocating for federal funding for regional infrastructure projects, including the ongoing pollution crisis in the Tijuana River Valley affecting our border communities and beaches. Last month, in collaboration with Mayor Paloma Aguirre, Imperial Beach Chamber of Commerce, and a coalition of 16 business organizations and regional stakeholders, we wrote a letter to President Biden and Brenda Mallory, chair of the White House Council of Environmental Equality, highlighting the severity of the pollution crisis and urging the administration to take immediate steps to mitigate its impact. Now we're here in person to follow up on that request and ensure our region's voices are heard on this issue. With such a large, diverse group, we're not just telling our nation's leaders that these issues are important to our region, we're showing them and who it matters to and why. It's truly a powerful message. And the public-private partnership we have between our businesses and elected officials is one we're immensely proud of. I'd now like to introduce the City of San Diego's Mayor, Todd Gloria. The Chamber is grateful for his continued participation on this trip, and his continued support is crucial to advancing our priorities back home. Mayor Gloria, the floor is yours.
Jerry, thank you for that introduction, and thank you for what you and your team do to bring together over 170 San Diegans and folks from the San Diego-Tijuana binational mega region to advocate over the next few days here in Washington, D.C. I wanted to share that a part of why myself and many of our city council members are here over the next couple of days is that this event is truly impactful for improving the quality of life for people in San Diego and in Tijuana. As you mentioned, this is a part of a year-long effort. You know, we work day in and day out with our federal partners to make sure that not only we get our fair share of resources, but that we get policies that are reflective of the priorities that we have back in the San Diego region. This in-person opportunity is really unequal. There's nothing better than a face-to-face opportunity to explain precisely how federal policies are playing out in the San Diego-Tijuana area. Particularly as it comes to issues like the Tijuana River Valley, where I do everything I can to support my friend Paloma Aguirre, whose leadership as the mayor of Imperial Beach is really transformational for getting this issue in front of decision makers. As mentioned, it's not just letters, but things like our congressional delegation's recent ability to secure a threefold increase in the IBWC construction budget in a recent appropriation bills to help address this catastrophe that is happening in the southern part of our county. That is where we take the leadership of folks like Mayor Aguirre. We team up together as the city of San Diego, the city of Imperial Beach, the county of San Diego, and then we show up here to advocate in person, and then we see the results in the months ahead. Today and this week is really about making sure that we have more of those victories in the months and years ahead. And so we're hoping to drive more effort when it comes to infrastructure. San Diegans well know that our roads are unacceptable and we need to have those improvements. Thanks to President Biden's leadership and the help in Congress, the bipartisan infrastructure law puts $1 trillion out on the table over the next couple of years. And so we're here because we want to make sure that we get our fair share of those dollars, as well as other federal appropriations when it comes to improving things beyond just our roads, but our pipes, our sewer treatment plants, et cetera, et cetera. Through our coordinated regional efforts with the Chamber of Commerce and other regional partners, we've secured over $400 million in the bipartisan infrastructure law and IRA grants over the last few years, and we're not stopping there. But we're going to continue to push to make sure that every nickel that we can possibly bring back to San Diego comes back to San Diego. And I will remind San Diegans that this is playing out before their eyes today. Right now, there are hardworking San Diegans that are on the job at Terminal 1, building a new San Diego International Airport. We have folks who are working at the Otay Mesa East Port of Entry to help drive down border wait times and improve our air quality. We have folks who will soon be working on repairing the decaying bridge at our historically disadvantaged communities down in Otay Mesa and Nestor, specifically the Palm Avenue Bridge over the 805. So this is real world stuff. You see it right now today in San Diego, and our goal is to make sure that that progress continues going forward. So let me conclude by simply saying we have an incredible congressional delegation from our 2 senators to our members of the House. They understand these issues, but we're here the next few days to provide a little backup, to give them some more voices. You know, it's said that the personal is political. There's nothing more personal of a story about having to wait at the border for hours to cross, about having to sit in congestion and traffic, having to sit in Terminal 1 at San Diego International Airport. Those kinds of stories can capture the attention of decision makers and policymakers here in Washington, D.C. And so I'm grateful to the Chamber for creating this opportunity. I'm grateful for the over 170 plus San Diegans from all manners of our economy here to help make those cases to our decision makers. And we'll look forward to reporting out in the weeks ahead the fruits of this particular visit. But I guarantee you, based on past experience, it's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars, thousands of jobs, and an improved quality of life for San Diegans. That's why I'm here. That's why our council members are here. And again, I look forward to reporting back shortly. With that said, as I mentioned, our full partner, truly our leader when it comes to addressing our cross-border pollution crisis, but also a number of other issues, is the great mayor of the city of Imperial Beach, my friend Paloma Aguirre. Paloma?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much for your partnership on the Tijuana River issue. And I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for their leadership. Because of their leadership for years on this subject matter of the Tijuana River pollution crisis, we've gotten to where we are today. I want to especially thank Jerry and Kenya Samarripa, who have been phenomenal on this issue, and all of my fellow delegates that are here today. There's been a lot of progress made. We have secured $156 million for the International Wastewater Treatment Plant for its rehabilitation and expansion. I want to thank our San Diego Congressional Delegation for all of their work and leadership on this matter. On the Mexican side, we've seen a lot of progress as well. The federal government of Mexico has intervened and has slated the completion of the Punta Bandera sewage treatment plant by September 30th. That has been over 15 years in the making, and that is a primary source of pollution for our coastline from Rosarito all the way to Coronado, California during dry weather months. However, the public health crisis couldn't be more dire. Now, there was a recent publication by San Diego State University School of Public Health that included over 50 peer-reviewed articles that explained how we're seeing the environmental and public health impacts of this pollution. Recently, there have been a number of dolphins stranded that have died in the San Diego coast due to sepsis that linked this illness to the sewage emanating from the Tijuana River. We now know that the pollution is airborne as well. The Scripps Institution of Oceanography has found that 76% of samples of air samples in the region have tested positive for pathogens and antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Toxics and carcinogenics continue to be found in adjacent communities to the Tijuana River, San Isidro, Nestor, all the way to Chula Vista. Our local health clinic has seen an uptick in illnesses related to this pollution, so that is why we are calling for a state of emergency to our President Biden. I want to thank the Chamber for leading the letter of 15 chambers from San Diego County calling for the same, addressed to President Biden. This follows the City of San Diego, the City of Imperial Beach, and the San Diego County Board of Supervisors declaration of a state of emergency. Just earlier this month, the Port of San Diego also declared a local state of emergency. The Southern Indian Health Council recently passed a resolution calling on Governor Newsom and President Biden to do the same. Why? We have experienced over 882 consecutive beach closure days in San Diego County. This has tremendous economic impacts as well. It depresses our tourism, our small businesses in the region, and it also affects major investments such as a $4.5 billion Gaylord project in Chula Vista. This is why, again, I reiterate that we're calling for a state of emergency. It would accelerate the Tijuana River diversion phase of the comprehensive Tijuana River solution. We have yet to have an environmental review of that phase of the project. We need to have accelerated bidding and procurement processes so that we can begin to see mitigation of the primary source of pollution to the San Diego region, which affects over 750,000 residents in San Diego County. So I want to thank everybody who's participated in this effort, and I now want to turn it over to my very good friend, Supervisor Tara Lawson. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's truly an honor to be back here in Washington, D.C., representing the County of San Diego, along with my colleagues from the cities of San Diego and Imperial Beach and the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce. Jerry, many thanks to you and your entire team for leading this delegation. We've come here to share San Diego County's story, the successes and the challenges, and learn more about ways we can leverage federal support to advance our local priorities. We're working to create stronger connections to leaders in DC and develop fruitful collaborations with federal agencies to help improve the lives of the residents and businesses in San Diego County. The areas I'm focused on while I'm out here are the Tijuana River Valley, infrastructure, especially green and clean infrastructure investments, and economic development. San Diego County has been fostering initiatives to stimulate job growth, attract businesses, support entrepreneurship, and foster innovation. We recently established a team dedicated to economic development, and we're particularly focused on advancing the green tech and clean tech sectors because the global green technology market is projected to see a 7-fold increase over the next decade. Another area where we're working hard is figuring out more ways to address the pollution crisis we're facing in the Tijuana River Valley. The sewage crisis affects the coastal communities that I represent, from Coronado to Carlsbad. The pollution in our coastal waters is keeping local families from enjoying the beaches and ocean, making people sick, poisoning our dolphins and other marine life, and also harming the small businesses and workers in our beach communities. If people can't get in the water, it keeps people from coming, which hurts our local economy. So we're here fighting for more resources to help San Diego County protect our ocean, beaches, and coastline from toxic sewage and pollution. Our county is advocating for the state and federal government to step up with more funding and support and resolve. I definitely want to thank Congressmember Scott Peters, Congressmember Juan Vargas, and the entire San Diego delegation for recently securing another $156 million to help with the maintenance and for the South Bay International Wastewater Treatment Plant. But a lot more work needs to be done before the sewage crisis is resolved. And that's what we're talking with to people here. Again, we're here looking to create stronger connections and develop fruitful collaborations to fight for the lives of residents and businesses in San Diego County. Thank you so much.
All right. And who would you like to speak? You know, I think what's really important in what we see every year when we come, we see action after we leave. And it's the follow through, as the mayor said, that's really important. But when we can bring a binational delegation to Washington, D.C., we're probably the only city that does that. And I think it really shows the federal government because they're not used to working with a binational delegation that's really united. So when we come to tell a story, I think we get more people become aware of what we're doing and how we're doing it. And I think that helps out long term. Right. So it's also important. We do the trip to Mexico City to also show Mexico City that we're a united region. And I think, once again, that story is compelling and it's unique. So that's the reason we do both of these trips. You guys want to speak to that? Sean, Stephen, Joel? Okay. Any others?
Ujú. 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 Gracias por la pregunta. Pues estamos hablando de dos tipos de contaminación, ¿no? Tenemos la de residuos sólidos, que incluye los plásticos, el polietileno, las llantas de desecho y las aguas residuales. Las aguas residuales están bajo jurisdicción estatal. La gobernadora Marina del Pilar Ávila ha sido una súper colaboradora. Ella desde un principio hizo esta una prioridad de su administración. Hemos tenido varias ya reuniones con ella. Ella lo elevó al nivel del presidente Andrés Manuel López Obrador y es por eso que estamos viendo progreso en la reparación de la planta de tratamiento de Punta Bandera. Sin embargo, los residuos sólidos caen bajo jurisdicción municipal y ciertamente, como lo preguntas, cuando se encuentran en un canal o en un cuerpo de agua